The rain-slicked streets of Manhattan gleamed under the assault of paparazzi flashes, each one a dagger aimed at Riley Thompson's heart as she clutched Ethan's arm like a lifeline she despised. In the split second before the car door slammed shut behind her, a single photo from last summer's hidden getaway with Jordan Reyes burned into every headline. Two women tangled in a sunset embrace on a Fire Island beach. Riley's laughter frozen in betrayal. But it was the voicemail from Jordan that echoed loudest that night. Her voice a velvet blade. "You think a ring will bury us? Riley, watch me rise." Riley stared at the diamond on her finger, its facets catching the sterile glow of her publicist's office like shards of broken promises. It was all a script, penned in haste after the leak. Ethan Hale, the golden boy of indie films, playing the doting fiancé to salvage her rising star from the tabloid inferno. "America loves a redemption arc," her agent had said, sliding the prop ring across the desk with the casual cruelty of a director calling cut. Yet as the city hummed beyond the floor-to-ceiling windows, Riley felt the weight of it all pressing down. The lie so heavy it threatened to eclipse the one truth she had chased across stolen weekends. Jordan, with her unyielding fire, had never been the scandal. She was the salvation. The engagement announcement dropped like a bomb at dawn, timed for maximum spin. By noon, Riley's phone buzzed with notifications, congratulations from strangers, veiled threats from fans who had pieced together the puzzle of her guarded smiles and old interviews. She paced her Brooklyn brownstone, the creak of the hardwood floors a metronome to her unraveling thoughts. Ethan was due any minute for their first candid photo op in Central Park, a setup so contrived it made her stomach churn. He was kind enough, in that polished Hollywood way, tall, with tousled blonde hair and a jawline that sold toothpaste, but his touch on her elbow last night at the emergency meeting had felt like frostbite. She sank onto the worn velvet couch, the one Jordan had once draped with fairy lights during a rain-soaked binge-watch marathon of old rom-coms. That was months ago, before the whispers turned to shouts, before Jordan's investigative piece on queer erasure and entertainment had veered too close to their private world. Riley had begged her to pull the quotes, the anecdotes that painted their nights in too vivid color. "It's not erasure if we name it," Jordan had argued, her dark eyes fierce over takeout containers in this very room. But Riley, ever the pragmatist climbing the ladder of auditions and endorsements, had chosen silence. And now, silence had a price tag, her career, teetering on the edge of oblivion. A knock rattled the door, sharp and insistent. "Ethan," punctual as ever. Riley smoothed her blouse, the emerald one that hugged her like a second skin, and forced a smile that didn't reach her eyes. "Hey, future wifey," he quipped, leaning in for a peck on the cheek that she dodged with practiced grace. His cologne was crisp, expensive, a far cry from Jordan's scent of salt air and sandalwood. They hailed a cab to the park, the driver glancing in the rearview with poorly concealed recognition. "Big news. Huh, you two make a cute couple." Cute. The word lodged in Riley's throat like a fishbone. As they strolled the leaf-strewn paths, Ethan's arm looped possessively around her waist. She scanned the treetops for signs of drones or long lenses. A few joggers slowed, phones raised. A young couple whispered behind cupped hands. Ethan murmured lines from their shared script. "Remember that time in Napa? I fell for you under those vines." Riley nodded, her laugh a brittle echo. While inside, memories of Napa twisted into something sharper. Napa was Jordan, a borrowed cabin and a bed that creaked under the weight of confessions neither could voice in daylight. By the time they posed on a wrought iron bench, the sun breaking through clouds like an indifferent god. Riley's facade cracked just once. A gust of wind carried the faint strum of a busker's guitar from Bethesda Terrace. And for a heartbeat, she saw Jordan there leaning against the arcade, notebook in hand, interviewing street artists for her next column. The real Jordan, not the villain the headlines had conjured. "You okay?" Ethan whispered, his breath warm against her ear. She nodded again, swallowing the ache. Okay was a country she hadn't visited in weeks. Back in the brownstone that evening, alone with a glass of Merlot that tasted like regret, Riley scrolled through the fallout. The engagement had worked its magic. Riley and Ethan trended, drowning out the beach photo in a tide of heart emojis and wedding dress pulls. Her agent texted victory laps, bookings pouring in. A rom-com lead opposite Ethan himself. But victory felt like ash. She pulled up Jordan's last Instagram post. A black and white shot of her at a rally in Washington Square Park. Megaphone raised. Caption reading, "Truth isn't a scandal, it's a spark." The comments were a war zone, supporters hailing her as a hero, detractors branding her a homewrecker. Riley hovered over the message icon, fingers trembling. What could she say? "I'm sorry didn't cover the chasm. I love you" was a grenade. Instead, she closed the app and dialed her therapist, the one specializing in high-profile closets. "It's all surface," she confessed into the void of the phone line, voice cracking for the first time that day. "Dear Lena Patel," with her calm Mumbai lilt transplanted to the Upper West Side. "Listen without judgment." And beneath the surface, "Riley, what's screaming loudest?" The question hung unanswered as Riley traced the engagement ring's band. Beneath Jordan. Always Jordan. The woman who had slipped past her defenses with a shared cigarette on a film set wrap party. Her laugh a melody that lingered like smoke. That night, dreams wove a tapestry of what ifs. Riley relived the Fire Island weekend, the salt spray on their skin, Jordan's fingers tracing constellations on her back as waves crashed like applause. They had talked for hours about futures unscripted, Jordan penning books that toppled empires of silence, Riley directing films where love wore no masks. Waking to the gray light of October, Riley felt the lie settle deeper. A stone in her chest. Ethan texted good mornings and heart emojis. She replied in kind. Each tap a small surrender. Weeks blurred into a whirlwind of fittings and interviews. The fake engagement tour. Late-night rehearsals for talk shows, where Riley practiced Ethan's pet names until they tasted real. A Vanity Fair spread captured them in a sun-drenched Hamptons rental, her head on his shoulder. The photo so convincing even she paused. But cracks spiderweb through the gloss. At a gala in the Met, amid chandeliers dripping light like honey, Riley spotted a familiar silhouette across the room, Jordan, in a crimson dress that hugged her curves like a lover's whisper, interviewing donors for her podcast's latest episode on media manipulation. Their eyes locked across the marble expanse, and time fractured. Jordan's gaze held no fury, only a quiet devastation that mirrored Riley's own. She wanted to cross the floor, to pull her into the shadows of the Egyptian wing and beg forgiveness with lips and limbs. Instead, Ethan steered her toward the bar, his hand firm on her lower back. "Smile for the cameras. Babe, babe." The word was a slap. Later, nursing a champagne flute in the ladies' lounge, Riley overheard two socialites dissecting the night's gossip. "Poor Jordan Reyes thinks she's the next Gloria Steinem. But she's just bitter ex territory. Laughter tinkled like breaking glass. Riley slipped out, heart pounding, and found Jordan on the museum's rooftop terrace. City lights sprawling below like a glittering confession. "You look good in chains," Jordan said. Voice low, nodding at the ring. No hello. No accusations. Just that wry twist to her mouth that always undid Riley. "It's not," Riley started. But the words died. "What was it? If not chains? I didn't mean for any of this." Jordan leaned on the balustrade, wind tousling her short black curls. "You never do. But here we are." She turned, eyes searching Riley's face with the intensity of a journalist unearthing buried leads. "Tell me, Riley Thompson, who's the girl in the beach photo? The one who looks like she's finally free?" Riley stepped closer, the air between them charged. Electric. "She was with you." The admission hung, fragile as fog. Jordan's hand brushed hers, a ghost of touch, and Riley felt the dam tremble. But duty called. Ethan texted, "Where are you? Fadig wants a kiss shot." Riley pulled away, the ring glinting like a warning. "I have to go." Jordan nodded, expression shuddering. "Go play house. But remember, houses built on sand don't last the tide." As Riley descended the stairs, the echo of those words pursued her, a siren song amid the gala's din. She kissed Ethan for the cameras, lips brushing his in a performance Oscar-worthy. But her mind replayed Jordan's touch, the what-ifs multiplying like shadows at dusk. The following days were a gauntlet of rehearsals for the engagement party, a lavish affair at the plaza, scripted to cement the narrative. Riley arrived early, overseeing florists arranging peonies in blush pinks, each bloom a mockery of the passion she craved. Her mother, flown in from their modest ranch outside Austin, Texas, fussed over her gown, a silk sheath and ivory that clung like guilt. "He's a catch. Honey. Don't let the noise distract you." Ellen Thompson, with her sun-leathered skin and no-nonsense drawl, had always dreamed of this, her daughter, the starlet, walking aisles lined with acclaim. Riley hugged her tight, inhaling the faint scent of lavender soap from childhood summers. "I know, Mom," but distraction was all she had left. Late that night, after fittings, she drove to Jordan's loft in the village, impulse overriding reason. The buzzer yielded after 3 tries, Jordan appearing in sweatpants and a faded Smith College tee, hair tousled from writing. "You shouldn't be here," Jordan said. But she stepped aside, the door clicking shut like a heartbeat. "I know." Riley paced the exposed brick space, bookshelves groaning under tomes on feminism and film theory, a half-eaten pizza on the coffee table. "But I can't breathe in that world. It's all smoke and mirrors." Jordan crossed her arms, leaning against the kitchen island. "And this? Sneaking over like a teenager? That's freedom." Riley stopped, close enough to see the faint scar above Jordan's brow from a protest gone sideways years ago. "No. But you. You're the only real thing left." She reached out, fingers grazing Jordan's wrist, pulse fluttering beneath. The kiss ignited slow, then fierce, a collision of need and forgiveness. Jordan's hands framed Riley's face, thumbs tracing jawlines mapped by memory. They tumbled to the couch, clothes shedding like old skins, whispers weaving through gasps. "I miss this. I never stopped." Dawn found them entwined, city awakening beyond the loft's tall windows. But reality intruded with Ethan's call at 8. Party details, be there by 10. Riley dressed in haste, stealing one last look at Jordan. Asleep and serene. "I'll figure it out," she promised the quiet room, slipping out like a thief. The plaza shimmered that evening, chandeliers casting golden halos over A-listers in tuxes and gowns. Ethan, debonair in navy, raised a toast. "To us, and to love that defies the odds." Glasses clinked, applause swelled. Riley smiled through it, her hand in his, a study in restraint. Across the ballroom, her eyes sought Jordan, uninvited. But there, a shadow in scarlet among the press corps. When the speeches turned to her, Riley took the mic, voice steady from years of lines learned. "This journey, it's taught me that image is just a frame. The picture inside, that's what matters." The crowd awed, oblivious. But Jordan, in the wings, met her gaze knowing. That night, as confetti rained and cameras captured the perfect kiss, Riley felt the frame crack. The lie had saved her image, but it was fracturing her soul. And Jordan, ever the catalyst, watched with eyes that promised the real story was just beginning. The morning after the engagement party dawned crisp, the kind of autumn bite that sharpened New York's edges and Riley's regrets. She woke in the king-sized bed of the plaza suite, Ethan's arm slung heavy across her waist, a platonic anchor in their shared charade. Sunlight slanted through heavy drapes, gilding the rumpled sheets, and for a moment, Riley lay still, tracing the veins on his hand like fault lines on a map. He stirred, mumbling something about mimosas, and she extricated herself gently, padding to the bathroom mirror where her reflection stared back, smudged mascara framing eyes that held too many secrets. Downstairs, brunch unfolded in a private alcove off the palm court, palm fronds whispering overhead like conspirators. Ethan buttered his croissant with boyish enthusiasm, recounting the party's highlights to their publicist, Mia, a sharp-eyed brunette in her 40s who orchestrated scandals like symphonies. The kiss went viral. Engagement up 20% in mentions. Mia tapped her tablet, graphs blooming like evidence. Riley sipped orange juice, tart on her tongue, nodding at intervals. Her phone vibrated under the table, a text from Jordan. "Last night was reckless. We can't delete this after reading." The words landed like a gut punch. Riley typed back, thumbs flying, "It wasn't reckless. It was us. Call me." No reply came, only the server's discreet approach with fresh scones. Ethan squeezed her knee under the linen, reassurance or reminder. She couldn't tell. "You were brilliant last night." That speech? Pure gold. Gold. The word echoed hollowly. As they parted ways, him to a script read, her to a solo walk along the reservoir, Riley veered toward the village, drawn by gravity she couldn't name. Jordan's loft loomed, fire escape ladders climbing the facade like veins. She buzzed anyway, heart hammering. Silence. Then, the door clicked open. Jordan filling the frame in jeans and an oversized sweater, coffee mug steaming in hand. "You're persistent," Jordan said. No warmth. But she let Riley Indiana. The space felt smaller today, air thick with unsaid accusations. Posters of Audre Lorde and bell hooks gazed down from walls, silent witnesses. "I had to see you." Riley hovered by the door, hands twisting. After last night. I meant what I said. Jordan set the mug down with deliberate care, leaning against the counter. What you said was poetry for the cameras. What you did was run back to him. Her voice cracked on him, raw as an open wound. 32. Jordan Reyes carried the weight of her truths like armor. Born to Mexican immigrant parents in Chicago, she had clawed her way to journalism through bylines on queer rights and corporate greed. Riley had fallen for that fire first, the way it illuminated rooms and consciences alike. I didn't run. I have obligations. Riley stepped closer. The scent of Jordan's shampoo, citrus and earth, stirring memories of tangled sheets. This engagement. It's temporary. A bridge until the heat dies down. Jordan's laugh was bitter. Short. Bridges burn. Riley. And you're playing with matches. She turned away, busying herself with papers on the table, notes for her next piece, on how celebrities weaponize privacy to silence stories. Irony laced every margin. Riley caught her hand, stilling it. Then help me cross it. With you. The plea hung. Vulnerable. Jordan's eyes softened, conflict warring in their depths, brown like rich soil, capable of nurturing or withholding rain. She pulled Riley close, foreheads touching, breaths mingling. You're killing me, she whispered, before their lips met. Soft at first, then urgent, a reclaiming. They moved to the bedroom with the familiarity of lovers who knew each other's rhythms. Jordan's hands mapped Riley's body like a cartographer charting lost lands, eliciting sighs that built to crescendos. Afterward, lying spent amid rumpled duvets, Riley traced lazy patterns on Jordan's stomach, the rise and fall a lullaby. Tell me about your next story, she murmured, craving the normalcy. Jordan propped on an elbow, hair falling like ink. It's about erasure, not just queer, but all the colors Hollywood whites out. Like how my abuela raised me on tales of Aztec queens, but the screen shows us as sidekicks or seductresses. Her voice gained strength, passion igniting. Riley listened, mesmerized, as Jordan wove history with hurt. Her words a bomb. But the idol shattered with a knock, insistent. Official. Jordan tensed, slipping into a robe. Through the peephole, two men in suits, badges glinting. MS. Reyes, NYPD. We need to ask about the Thompson leak. Riley's blood iced. The scandal hadn't faded, it had metastasized. Jordan glanced back, face paling. Stay here. She opened the door a crack. Voices murmuring, questions about sources, timelines, potential extortion. Riley pressed against the wall, eavesdropping, heart in throat. When Jordan returned, her expression was steel. Someone's pressing charges. For defamation. Who? Riley whispered, dread coiling. Your team. Probably. Protecting the golden girl. No accusation. Just fact, cold as a headline. Jordan sank onto the bed, head in hands. This is what happens when love meets the machine. Riley knelt, cupping Jordan's face. I'll fix it. I'll talk to Mia. Make it go away. But even as she said it, doubt not. Fixing meant more lies, deeper entanglements. Fixing means choosing, Jordan replied softly, eyes glistening. And you haven't yet. The afternoon dissolved into tense calls. Riley met Mia at a midtown cafe. The hum of espresso machines a futile cover for her panic. Defamation? Against Jordan. Mia arched a brow over her latte. Unfazed. It's leverage. Keeps her quiet while we build the narrative. Ethan's people are on board, joint statement tomorrow. Painting her as unstable. Unstable. Riley recoiled. Voice rising. A barista glanced over, she lowered it. She's not. She's everything. Mia leaned in. Voice velvet over iron. Everything that could tank your rom-com. Riley. Think leads dry up. Endorsements vanish. Or think Oscar buzz for the power couple flick. Your call. The call she made was to Ethan. Late that night in his Tribeca loft, spare. Modern. With views of the Hudson that mocked her turmoil. He poured scotch. Neat. Handing her one with a sympathetic tilt. This journalist's thing. It's rough. But MIA's right. We lean in. It passes. Riley sipped. The burn steadying. And if I don't want it to pass? If I want her? Ethan paused. Glass midway to lips. Surprise flickering. He wasn't cruel. Just complicit. A bisexual actor navigating his own glass closet. They're fake out a mutual survival pact. Then you burn it all. For what? A woman who's already got the world against her. For love? Riley thought. But the word stuck. Instead, she let him pull her into a hug. Brotherly. His chin on her crown. Give it time. You'll see. Time, however, was a thief. By week's end, the defamation suit hit the wires. Anonymous sources claiming Jordan had fabricated the affair for clout. Justice for Riley trended. Her inbox flooding with support from strangers who saw only the victim. Guilt gnawed at Riley like acid. She drove to Jordan's again. Finding the loft dim. Takeout containers piling like accusations. Jordan looked up from her laptop. Screen glowing with legal briefs. Come to gloat. No. To fight. Riley dropped her bag. Resolve hardening. It'll go public. End the engagement. Tell them about us. Jordan's eyes widen. Hope warring with wariness. You sure? That's not a bridge. That's a leap. Riley nodded. Adrenaline surging. I'm sure. They spent the night planning not just statements, but futures. Jordan sketched outlines for a joint op-ed. Riley envisioned scenes for a film script. Their story reframed as triumph. Dawn brought tentative peace. Fingers laced as they watched the skyline blush. But betrayal brewed in shadows. Mia called at noon. Emergency meeting. Riley's arrival at the agency revealed Ethan. Ashen. Flanked by lawyers. Sit, Mia commanded. On the table, printouts of last night's texts, from Riley's phone to Jordan's, leaked by God knew who. You were tailed, one lawyer said flatly. And now we have proof of fraud. The engagement's off. Riley. Unless you recant. The room spun. Ethan met her gaze. Apology in his eyes. He hadn't known. But the damage stained them all. Riley stood. Chair scraping. Recant what? The truth. MIA's smile was serpentine. The lie that saved you. Choose now. She chose the door. Storming into the elevator where tears came hot and unbidden. Outside. Rain lashed the streets, mirroring her chaos. She hailed a cab to Jordan's, bursting in with sobs. They know. The texts. It's over. Jordan held her, rocking gently. Not over. Just the beginning of real. Yet as they clung, Riley's phone lit with alerts. A press conference announced for tomorrow. Ethan's solo. Spinning solo heartbreak. The machine churned on, devouring truths in its gears. In the quiet hours, Riley whispered into Jordan's hair. I chose you. But doubt lingered. What price would the world exact for that choice? The rain hadn't let up by morning, turning Manhattan into a watercolor smear of grays and silvers, each drop a Morse code of impending storm. Riley and Jordan huddled in the loft, fortified by strong coffee and scribbled notes on yellow legal pads, strategies for the fallout, bullet points of their shared narrative. Jordan, ever the tactician, paced in socks, her bare feet silent on the rug. We hit back with authenticity. No more hiding. You go on record. I back it with the evidence, the emails, the photos we kept private. Riley nodded from the couch, knees drawn up, the engagement ring mocking her from the coffee table where Shed hurled it hours ago. It sparkled accusingly, a relic of the life Shed almost resigned to. And Ethan? He'll be collateral. He's a survivor. Like us. Jordan's voice softened, pragmatic compassion threading through. She knelt, hands on Riley's knees. This isn't about blame. It's about owning the frame. Owning it felt like skydiving without a chute. By midday, Riley's agent, former agent now, Shed fired Mia in a blistering voicemail, had circulated her resignation from the rom-com. Rejections pinged like shrapnel, directors ghosting, brands pulling ads. But amid the wreckage, a lifeline, an invite from NPR for a primetime interview, Jordan's connections paying off. They prepped in the loft's alcove, Jordan role-playing the host with a hairbrush mic. Ms. Thompson, how does it feel to trade a fairy tale for scandal? Her tone was neutral, probing. Riley swallowed, rehearsing. It feels like coming home. The fairy tale was glass. This is flesh and bone. Jordan dropped character, pulling her into a kiss that tasted of resolve. That's my girl. The studio on West 57th buzzed with pre-show energy, technicians adjusting lights, producers murmuring scripts. Riley arrived alone, Jordan waiting in the green room with takeout tie, her presence a talisman. You've got this, she murmured, thumb brushing Riley's cheek. Then, with a squeeze of hands, she slipped out to the audience, incognito in a ball cap. Under the hot lights, Riley settled into the armchair. Host Elena Vasquez, a Latina powerhouse with Emmys lining her office, leaning forward with genuine curiosity. Riley, the world watched your engagement bloom and shatter in days. What's the truth behind the headlines? Riley breathed deep, the mic cool against her collar. The truth is, I fell in love with a woman. Jordan Reyes. The beach photo wasn't a scandal. It was a snapshot of joy. The engagement. It was armor. Fear dressed as strategy. Gasps rippled through the live audience. Elena's eyes widened fractionally, then warmed. And now? Armor off, what remains? Us, Riley said simply, voice steady. And the hope that stories like ours can rewrite the script. The interview flowed like a confession unburdened, Riley recounting the affair's spark on that film set. Jordan's passion igniting her own buried flames, the leak as a forced unveiling, the fake ring as a desperate grasp at normalcy. Elena probed gently family reactions, Career fears. My mom's flying in tomorrow, Riley admitted, a smile breaking through. She saw the light in my eyes tonight on the monitor. That's enough. As credits rolled, applause thundered. Backstage, Jordan enveloped her, tears salting their kiss. You were luminous, but bruised. That night, in a hotel near Times Square, Jordan's place too hot for Paps, they ordered room service, champagne bubbling like laughter. Jordan traced Riley's collarbone, voice husky. Remember Vermont? That cabin we dreamed of. Riley grinned, pulling her closer. Maple syrup and no signals. Let's make it real. Plans unfurled like petals. A quiet getaway post-storm. Then collaboration. Riley producing a doc on queer voices. Jordan scripting the narrative. Sleep came easy. Limbs entwined. Dreams untainted. Dawn brought the backlash. Riley's feed exploded. Slurs from trolls. Sermons from conservatives decrying Hollywood decay. Ethan called. Voice ragged. They're crucifying me as the fool. But proud of you. For real this time. Guilt twisted. But she thanked him, promising coffees when dust settled. Her mother landed at JFK. Ellen Thompson's practical bob and cowboy boots, a stark contrast to the terminal's gloss. At the baggage claim, she pulled Riley into a bone-crusher hug. Saw the show. Darlin'. You looked like you again. Over diner eggs in Queens' neutral ground, Ellen listened. Fork paused midair. I raised you to chase dreams. Not cages. This Jordan. She makes you shine. Riley nodded. Throat tight. Like sunrise. Ellen squeezed her hand. Calluses from ranch work grounding. Then hold on. Thompsons don't quit easy. The homecoming stretched into days of tentative normalcy. Riley and Jordan decamped to Ellen's rental in Brooklyn. A shoebox walk-up where laughter echoed off peeling wallpaper. Evenings blurred into movie marathons. Jordan dissecting plots while Riley sketched storyboards on napkins. One night, under a threadbare quilt, Jordan confessed her own fracture. After the suit dropped, I thought I'd lost you forever. Felt like drowning in Chicago winters all over again. Riley held her, whispering, You're my shore. But shadows lengthened. A week in, Mia surfaced via email. Not threats, but offers reconciliation. A healing arc storyline with Ethan. Residuals pending. Riley deleted it, but unease lingered. Jordan noticed. Over breakfast bagels. Second thoughts. No. Just. The pull of easy. Riley set down her knife. Honest. But easy isn't us. Jordan's smile was a sunrise. Good. Because I've got a lead on something big. A panel at South by Southwest. You. Me. Talking erasure. Excitement sparked. They dove in. Jordan's contacts yielding invites. Riley as performer. Jordan as moderator. Flights to Austin booked. A road trip south for color. En route. In a rented Mustang hugging Texan curves. They belted Springsteen. Windows down. Wind whipping confessions free. I was scared of this, Jordan yelled over engine roar. Loving someone who lights up rooms. Riley reached across. Hand on thigh. You light the dark ones. Austin welcomed with barbecue haze and live music thrum. The panel loomed. A stage in a converted warehouse. Spotlights harsh on folding chairs. Backstage. Nerves jangled. Riley in jeans and a silk blouse. Jordan in tailored slacks. Notes clutched like shields. "We got this," Jordan murmured, stealing a kiss that steadied. The moderator introduced them. Riley Thompson. From screen siren to truth teller. Jordan Reyes. The voice unsilencing margins. Applause swelled. Diverse faces in the crowd, queer kids with rainbow pins. Allies nodding fierce. Jordan opened. Voice resonant. "Erasure isn't absence, it's active theft." Today's guest embodies that fight. Riley followed. Anecdotes flowing. Audition rooms where her queerness was toned down. Billboards airbrushing diversity. Questions poured raw. Real. A trans teen asked, "How do you heal from betrayal?" Riley paused, glancing at Jordan. "By choosing truth over image. And by love that sees you whole." Post panel. Lines formed for hugs. Selfies. A woman in her 50s. Gray-streaked hair. Gripped Riley's arm. "You gave me words for my daughter's silence." Tears pricked. Riley hugged back. Jordan beaming beside. That night, 6th Street pulsed with revelry. They danced in a dive bar. Bodies close amid twangy guitars. Sweat slick and alive. "This is it," Jordan shouted over riffs. The life. Back at the hotel. Passion crested slow. Deliberate, explorations whispered with "I love yous." Afterward. Entangled sheets. Riley voiced the undercurrent. "What if the world's not ready?" Jordan traced her spine. "Then we ready it. Together." Return to New York brought gales, literal and figurative. Headlines shifted. From scandal to inspiration. Podcasts inviting duets. But undercurrents stirred. Ethan texted, "We need to talk." Lunch. They met at a Soho bistro. Neutral turf of exposed brick and overpriced salads. Ethan looked drawn. Stubble shadowing his jaw. "Amount to." Came out in Variety. Said the engagement's mutual fiction, "for both our sakes." Riley exhaled. Relief mingling with sorrow. "Why now?" "Because watching you. It freed me." He clinked water glasses. "No hard feelings?" "None." Friendship bloomed tentative. A bridge mended. Yet peace fractured midweek. Jordan's phone rang during dinner. Her editor. Voice clipped. "The suit's back on." Thompson's camp alleging privacy invasion. "You named in depositions." Riley's fork clattered. "But I went public." "Doesn't matter." They're spinning it as coerced. Jordan hung up. Face ashen. "This is war." Rage simmered into strategy sessions. Lawyers looped in, Jordan's pro bono from the ACLU. Riley's from Indie Allies. Evidence mounted. Timestamps proving the leak external. Perhaps a jealous crew member. But the toll mounted, sleepless nights. Jordan's hands shaking over keyboards. One evening, as thunder rumbled, Riley found Jordan on the fire escape. Rain sheeting around. "I can't lose you to this," she said, joining her in the wet chill. Jordan turned, drenched and defiant. "You want. But we fight dirty now." The decision crystallized. A countersuit. Public and piercing. Riley drafted the statement. Fingers flying, "We won't be erased." As she hit send, Jordan pulled her inside. Their kiss a vow amid lightning flash. But in the quiet after, doubt whispered, how deep did the machine go? And what fractures would it carve in their fragile new world? Winter crept into New York like an uninvited guest, frosting brownstone windows and chilling the marrow of Riley's resolve. The countersuit filed with the click at midnight, a digital gauntlet thrown into the court's maw. By morning, it dominated feeds. Riley Jordan United, a hashtag born of defiance, amassing allies from indie filmmakers to pop icons. Jordan's apartment transformed into war room, whiteboards scrawled with timelines, laptops humming with depositions. Riley, between audition callbacks that now carried a queer edge, brewed endless pots of tea, her presence a steady hum. Yet the strain-etched lines around Jordan's eyes, dark circles like bruises from invisible blows. One frosty dawn, as snow dusted the sill, Riley woke to find her at the kitchen table, staring at a faded photo, Jordan at 10, gap-toothed grin beside her abuela in a Chicago tenement, embroidery hoops framing their laps. "She taught me to stitch stories," Jordan murmured, voice thick. "Said words are threads, pull one. The whole tapestry shifts." Riley slid behind her, arms encircling. "Then let's weave unbreakable." But fragility lingered. The suits dragged. Discovery phases unearthing emails from MIA's team, strategies to neutralize the threat, code for Barry Jordan. Public skirmishes escalated. A late-night talk show host, a smug relic in suspenders, quipped, "From fake rings to real ringsides, Riley's love life is the drama we didn't ask for." Laughter canned and cruel. Riley fired back on socials. "We didn't ask for your permission." Backlash surged. But so did support fundraisers for queer legal aid. Fan art of them as warrior queens. Ellen's visit anchored them. Arriving bundled in wool from Austin, she unpacked brisket and pecan pie, filling the loft with home smells. Over plates at the scarred oak table, she grilled Jordan gently. "You fight fair." "Mija." Jordan met her gaze, fork pausing. "Fair's relative in this game." Thompson. "But I fight clean." Ellen nodded. Approval warming. "Call me Ellen. And teach my girl some of that fire. She got too much polish growing up." Laughter broke tension, evolving into stories swapped like heirlooms. Ellen's ranch romances, Jordan's protest marches. That night, snow fell thick. The three women bundled on the couch, a rom-com flickering, irony not lost. Ellen dozed midway, head on Riley's shoulder. Jordan laced fingers with hers, a silent pact. Come spring, the case cracked open. A whistleblower emerged, an assistant on Riley's rom-com set, conscience pricked by the defamation dragnet. Depositions in a sterile Midtown office revealed the leak. Not Jordan, but a rival publicist, sabotaging for a scoop. Emma's empire teetered. She resigned amid whispers. Her parting shot a venomous email to Riley. "You'll regret torching bridges for a footnote." Footnote. The word fueled Riley's fire. With the suit dismissed, they celebrated quietly, a picnic in Prospect Park. Blankets spread under cherry blossoms tentative pink. Jordan unpacked tamales from her mother's recipe, steam rising like prayers. To footnotes that rewrite history, she toasted with sparkling cider. Riley clinked, leaning in for a kiss tasting of spice and promise. To chapters unwritten, but not unplotted. South by Southwest had birthed Offers, a streaming series on queer icons. Riley directing episodes, Jordan consulting. They relocated temporarily to a Silver Lake bungalow in LA, palm-shaded escape, where scripts piled on the porch swing. Mornings blurred into walks along the reservoir. Hands swinging. Conversations meandering from plot twists to parenthood dreams. Kids. Jordan ventured one dusk. Sun dipping gold. With your eyes. My stubborn. Riley laughed. Heart swelling. And all our stories, but scars itched. Ethan visited, bearing takeout sushi and apologies unspoken. Over veranda beers, he confessed his own coming out ripple. Family rifts healed slow. Roles typecast as the gay best friend. Your courage. It dominoed. Friendship solidified. A triad with Jordan. Dinners laced with shop talk. Midsummer. The bungalow hosted their first gathering. A salon of misfits, trans writers, bi-directors, non-binary artists. Laughter echoed off adobe walls. Wine flowing. Ideas sparking like fireflies. Jordan moderated a midnight roundtable. Voice commanding. We're not tokens, we're the tale. Riley watched. Pride blooming. Her hand finding Jordan's under the table grounding. Yet undercurrents stirred. A producer on the series, slick as oil, cornered Riley at a rap party. Love's great, but dial back the politics. Audiences want escapism, not lectures, she rebuffed. But the echo lingered, old fears of erasure. Jordan sensed it, pulling her onto the deck amid jasmine twine. He's wrong. You're the escape, the real one. Their lovemaking that night was reclamation. Slow dances of touch. Murmurs mapping vulnerabilities. You're my plot twist, Riley breathed. Jordan's laughter vibrating against skin. Fall returned them east. Leaves flaming Central Park. The series premiered to acclaim. Critics hailing raw romance. Unflinching truth. Red carpet. Riley in emerald velvet. Jordan in tailored black. Arms linked defiant. Flashes popped. Questions probed. Advice for couples in spotlight? Jordan fielded. Mic steady. Love loud. Let the light find you. Post-premiere. In a suite overlooking the park, they slow danced to jazz from a tinny speaker. City hum below. This is surreal, Riley whispered. Cheek to cheek. Surreal and ours. Jordan's hand splayed on her back. Possessive. But surreality shattered Thanksgiving. Ellen's call came mid-dinner prep. Turkey basting. Jordan chopping yams. Daddy's gone. Honey. Heart attack. Quick. Riley's world tilted. She flew home alone. Jordan following days later. The ranch house in Austin smelled of dust and diesel. Memories thick as humidity. Funeral sparse. Kin in starched collars. Eulogies wrote. Jack Thompson. Broad-shouldered rancher with a soft spot for sunsets. Had never grasped Riley's path. City lights over sagebrush. But his last note slipped into her palm by Ellen. Be brave, kid. Love like the land wide and wild. Grief hollowed. But Jordan filled cracks. In the guest room, under quilt stitched by Jack's mother. They mourned quietly, tears silent. Bodies seeking solace. Hell see you shining, Jordan promised. Fingers in hair. Healing wove slow. Christmas in Chicago, Jordan's family. Boisterous with pozole and piñatas. Her abuela frail but fierce, clasping Riley's hands. You bring light to my nieta. That's familia. Acceptance bloomed. Tentative. New Year dawned collaborative. Their book pitched. A memoir duet on love amid lies. Agents buzzed, outlines flew. But midwinter. A ghost resurfaced Mia via proxy letter. Settlement offer. NDA attached. End the narrative cleanly. Riley burned it in the loft sink. Flames dancing. No more clean. Only true. Jordan watched. Eyes alight. That's my warrior. Spring trials yielded verdicts. The series Emmy nodded. Book deal inked. They escaped to that Vermont cabin, maple-scented idle. No signals. Days blurred. Hikes through birch groves. Nights by firelight reading drafts aloud. One evening. Snow dusting pines. Jordan knelt by the hearth. Marry me. Riley. Not for show for us. Tears pricked. Riley pulled her up. Kissing fierce. Yes. 1,000 times. The proposal rippled outward. Announcements quiet. Rings simple gold bands engraved with threads. Ellen hosted the wedding. Ranch under oaks. Wildflowers and whiskey. Guests eclectic. Ethan toasting with wit. Artists reciting poems. Vows exchanged at sunset. I choose you. In light and shadow. Honeymoon in Oregon coast. Crashing waves. Driftwood fires. They wrote. Love. Healed scars fading to stories. Yet in quiet moments. Riley pondered the mic, the one Jordan would wield again. Truths amplified. Their love. Once lie-shrouded. Now legend. But legends face dragons. Back in New York. A new leak. Twisted quotes from the book draft. Painting Jordan as manipulator. The machine. Unslayed. Roared anew. Riley gripped Jordan's hand. Resolve stealing. We face it together. And so they would, threads weaving tighter. Tapestry enduring. The leak hit like a summer squall, sudden. Drenching. Gone in flashes but leaving mud in its wake. Riley woke to her phone's insistent buzz. Jordan's side of the bed cool. The loft already humming with her pacing. Headlines screamed from the screen. Rhea's memoir. Puppet master behind Thompson's fall? Quotes cherry-picked. Context gutted. Jordan's candid notes on their early doubts twisted into coercion. It's the producer, Jordan said. Voice low thunder. Handing over coffee black as her mood. The one from the party. He had access during revisions. Riley scrolled. Nausea rising. Fan accounts fracturing. Old trolls resurging. We sue again? Jordan shook her head. Curls wild. No. We amplify. Drop the full draft online. Let truth floodgate. By noon. They did. Manuscript PDF. Annotated. Raw. Readers devoured. Comments shifting. This isn't manipulation, it's messy real. Allies rallied, podcasts dissecting the sabotage. Lawyers pro bono circling the producer. Fallout lingered. Though. Auditions dried, Riley's agent hedged. Lie low. Sweetheart. Public's fickle. Isolation crept. Evenings spent in takeout stupor. Jordan's laptop glowed the only light. One rainy dusk. Riley snapped. I can't just wait. She grabbed coat. Storming to the village streets. Neon reflections puddling. Aimless at first. Then purposeful. Ethan's loft. Buzzer pleading. He answered in sweats. Surprise softening to welcome. What's up? Everything. She collapsed on his couch. Words tumbling leak. Doubt. The suffocating weight. Ethan listened. Pouring gin and tonics. His own scars fresh from a bioerasure flap on set. You're not waiting, you're brewing, he said, clinking glasses. Remember me post-engagement? Thought ID never work. Then bam, queer lead in that indie. Storms pass, you steer. His words anchored, evolving into late laughs over bad TV. Dawn found her lighter, texting Jordan, coming home. Love you. Jordan met her at door, arms open. Missed you. No questions. Just presence, a bomb. Reprieve came via Vermont invite. Cabin owners, fans of the book, offering seclusion. They packed light manuscripts, journals driving north through Adirondack twists. The cabin nestled lakeside, pines whispering secrets. Days unspooled lazy, canoe paddles at sunrise, Riley trailing fingers in chill water, afternoons writing on the dock, Jordan reading aloud passages that made them weep laugh. One twilight, as loons called, Jordan broached the fracture. The leak. It made me doubt. Like, am I the villain in our story? Riley set down her pen, turning. Villains don't build, they break. You're the architect. She kissed her palm. Earnest. We rewrite together. Nights deep in intimacy, fires crackling, bodies mapping familiar terrains with new intent. Tell me a fear, Riley whispered once, Jordan's head on her chest. Losing you to the shine, Jordan confessed, voice small. The lights pull hard. Riley held tighter. Then ground me. Always. Return brought momentum. The full draft trended. Producer exposed, resigned in disgrace. Apology buried in fine print. Their book deal expanded. Audiobook narrated duet style. Tours booked, intimate venues. From Chicago libraries to LA bookstores. First stop, Jordan's hometown. A community center humming with locals. Nervous energy crackled. Riley's hand sweated in Jordan's. On stage, under strung lights, they read alternating chapters, Riley's polish yielding to Jordan's fire. Q&A flowed. A young Latina asked, "How do you forgive the industry?" "Forgiveness is selective," Jordan replied. "We don't forget, we fortify." Backstage, Jordan's mother embraced them, eyes misty. "You honor us." Familia expanded, roots deepening. LA legs shimmered, Hollywood signing, fans queuing around blocks. A non-binary teen gifted fanfic, their story, queered further. "You made space," they said. Riley hug, throat tight. But glamour hid thorns. A post-event mixer, producers schmoozing, compliments lace-barbed. Great redemption arc, one winked. Jordan stiffened, Riley steered away, whispering, "Not our script." Hotel aftermath, lovemaking fierce, reclaiming agency in gasps and grips. "You're my director," Jordan panted. Laughter bubbling. East Coast wrapped in Boston. Autumn blaze framing the hall. Ellen flew up. Front row beaming. Post-reading. Over chowder. She toasted. To daughters who dance their truth. Winter holidays split. Christmas Austin. New Year's Chicago. Ranch carols with Ellen. Then piñata chaos with Jordan's kin, blessing layered. Abuela pulled Riley aside. Rosary beads clicking. Amor Verdadero bends. No breaks. Wisdom etched deep. New Year birth projects. Riley's short film. Jordan scripting voiceover. Casting calls inclusive. Sets hummed equity. Premiere at Tribeca. Intimate. Electric. Ethan attended. Arm around a new beau actor. Soft-spoken. Proud, he mouthed across aisle. Post-screening party toast. Tears. A critic cornered Jordan. Revolutionary intimacy. She glanced at Riley. Dancing with Ellen. Just lived, but revolution simmers. Mid-spring. A network offer. Series revival. Riley's old rom-com. Updated for diversity. Temptation tug stability. Spotlight. Over diner pie. She confided. Jordan, listen. Fork tracing crust. Is it bridge or chain? Riley pondered. Heart clear. Bridge. But on our terms. Negotiation fierce. Queer leads. Jordan consulting. Greenlit. Production buzzed summer. Filming in Hudson Valley barns, rustic charm. Crew tight-knit. Riley directed days. Collapsed into Jordan's arms nights. Trailer a haven. This is power, she murmured. Stars wheeling overhead. Rap party bonfire. Stories swapped. Esmeralda sticky. A grip shared coming out tale. Riley listened. Jordan adding threads. Community wove. Fall harvest. Book launch proper. Union Square basking gold. Lines snaked. Readings packed emotion, laughter at mishaps. Sobs at scars. Signings stretched hours. Dedications personal, to the women who thread us whole. Post-launch dinner. Rooftop. City twinkling. Ethan joined. Toasting. To lies that birth truths. Wine warmed, dances swayed. Jordan pulled Riley close. 1 year married. Feel like forever. Best kind. Kiss sealed. Promises implicit. Yet horizons hint storms. Whispers of political shifts, rights rolling back. Spotlights shifting. A rally invite, Jordan keynoting. Riley gripped her hand. Well, mic up together. Threads tighten. Tapestry resilient. Their story. Once scandal. Now saga, love enduring. Voices unmuted. Autumn's palette deepened into November's somber hues. Leaves carpeting Central Park like fallen confessions as Riley and Jordan navigated the rally's undercurrents. The event loomed in Washington Square Arch's shadow, a coalition against rolling back marriage equality. Banners fluttering like defiant prayers. Jordan, slotted for keynote, rehearsed in their loft, words sharpening on her tongue. Love isn't legislation, it's legacy. They can rewrite laws, but not our lives. Riley watched from the bed. Script pages forgotten in lap. Admiration swelling. You'll ignite them. But worry threaded. Protests past had bruised Jordan. Once tear-gassed in a Chicago march. Scar on her rib, a tactile memory under Riley's fingers. The arch swelled with bodies. Rainbow flags whipping. Chants rhythmic. Backstage tent hummed. Activists strategizing. Water bottles passed. Jordan emerged in leather jacket over blouse. Notes pocketed. Kissing Riley fierce. For us. On stage. Mic in hand. She owned the space. Voice rising over megaphone echo. Stories weaving personal to political. I married the woman who taught me home is a choice. Deny that? You deny humanity. Cheers crested. Riley. Front row. Tears blurring pride. Post-speech. Crowds surged hugs. Pleas for hope. Elder lesbian. Silver-cropped. Gripped Jordan's arm. You remind me why we fought. Legacy landed tangible. Return home buzzed. offers for speaking gigs, a TEDx slot. But intimacy craved quiet. They escaped to Oregon coast again, cabin on cliffs, waves sermonizing. Mornings fog-shrouded walks, collecting sea glass like polished regrets. Afternoons journaling, Riley's film notes mingling with Jordan's essays. One gale-lashed eve, fire roaring, Jordan voiced undercurrent. The rally. It stirred ghosts. What if we lose ground? Kids like us. Before us. Riley pulled her into lap, chin on shoulder. Then we rebuild. Like your abuela stitched through wars, Jordan turned, eyes searching. You're my stitch. Passion followed slow, elemental. Rain lashing windows like applause. Afterward, whispers turned dreams, adoption talks, names brainstormed. A little firebrand, Riley teased. Reality reeled them back. Holidays loomed. Thanksgiving at the ranch. Ellen expanding table for Jordan's kin. Hybrid feast of turkey and tamales. Laughter bridged dialects. Stories swapped. Jack Thompson's ghost benevolent in toasts. To family forged. Ellen raised glass. Eyes misty. Chicago Christmas. Snow blanketing magnificent mile. Jordan's parents' home aglow piñatas and posada songs. Abuela led Riley in embroidery. Needle-pricking truths. Kilos de corazón heart threads. Strongest weave. New Year crossed into 2027. Resolutions whispered over champagne. More travels. Deeper roots. Spring bloomed collaborations. Joint workshop at NYU. Teaching narrative as resistance. Students diverse, fresh faces hungry. Questions piercing. A shy poet asked Riley, "How do you write the unwritable love under fire?" "Feel it first," she said, glancing at Jordan demonstrating. "Then let it bleed." Page. Summer simmered with film festival circuit. Riley's short screening Sundance. Jordan moderating panels. Park City powder-dusted boots. Lodges hummed discourse. Post-screening Q&A. Acclaim washed. Thompson's gaze unflinching. Tender. Jordan. Audience. Texted under seat. My director. Festival after-party. Fireside chats. Stars orbiting. A veteran actress pulled Riley aside. Your story? Freed my script. Thank you. Gratitude reciprocal. But circuits circle pitfalls. Fall brought network drama. The revived rom-com. Mid-season. Execs meddling. Soften the queer arc. Test audiences balk. Riley stormed meetings. Jordan prepping briefs. Compromise struck. Arcs intact, but airtime trimmed. Exhaustion followed. Manifesting in small fissures. Snapped words over deadlines. Silences heavy. One October night. Loft dim. Argument erupted. Jordan slamming laptop. They're diluting us again. Riley, weary from edits, retorted. Fighting every inch burns us out. Words hung toxic. Jordan stormed to couch. Riley to bed alone. Dawn brought apology coffee. Embrace. We're tired, Riley admitted. Not broken. Jordan nodded. Foreheads touching. Therapy? Like old days. They booked dear. Patel again virtual sessions. Lena's voice steady. Conflict isn't fracture. It's flex. Tools emerged. Check-ins nightly. Gratitude shared. Healing hummed. Winter deepened commitments. Adoption inquiry filed. Home study looming. Loft prepped, nursery sketches. Bookshelves stocked diverse tales. Process peeled layers. Interviews probing past. Scars aired. Social worker. Hey. Noted. Your bond resilient. Approval came spring. Match tentative. A toddler girl. Foster shuffled. Eyes wide worlds. First visit. Agency playroom. Toys scattered. The girl Lila. 3. Curls wild. Clung to caseworker. But Jordan's soft song and Spanish coax smile. Riley's heart clenched. Home drive silent. Hands clasped. Months wove attachment. Visits escalating. Lila's laughter filling car rides. Mama J, she lisped one day. Jordan's tears salt-kissed. Finalization court. Judge benevolent. Gavel falling like blessing. Family. Official. Ellen witnessed. Hugging post-hearing. Granny Ellen. Reporting. Homecoming parade. Ice cream detours. Park swings. Lila asleep between them that night. Riley whispered, our thread grows. Parenting reshaped rhythms, sleepless nights. Daycare dashes. Jordan's columns paused. Riley's directing sideline for carpools. Joy-laced chaos. Finger paints rainbowed walls. Bedtime stories dual-voiced. Yet balance beckoned. Fall sabbatical. Family road trip Montana. Glacier parks vast. Skies swallowing. Hikes with Lila backpacked. Wildflowers tucked hair. Evenings campfire tales. Stars scripting futures. Return sparked renewal. Jordan's book 2 pitched. Parenting queered. Riley's feature greenlit. Lila cameo consultant. Make it happy. Mama R. Premiere loomed. But life layered. One winter morn. Snow blanketing. Lila feverish, panic first. Then pediatrician calm. Holding tiny hand. Riley met Jordan's gaze. We got this. Recovery brought clarity. Love multiplies. Divides not. Spring bloomed family photos. 3 silhouettes against cherry trees. Anniversary 5th. Intimate. Loft candles. Sitter for Lila. Dresses donned, emerald for Riley. Crimson Jordan. Dancing slow to old jazz. Still choose you, Jordan murmured. Always. Kiss deepen. Vows renewed silent. But horizons hint. Lila's questions budding. Why 2 mamas? Answers age appropriate. Truth seated. Their saga. Expanded. Endures threads infinite. Tapestry vast. Summer's heat wave baked New York into a haze of tar and longing. The city's pulse quickening as Lila turned 5 amid fire hydrant sprays and stoop barbecues. Riley and Jordan marked it with a backyard bash in their newly bought Brooklyn row house, balloons bobbing from maple limbs, picnic tables groaning under Ellen's brisket and Jordan's abuela's flan. Lila. Gap-toothed in a tutu. Orchestrated games with the fervor of a tiny tyrant. Her laughter a cascade that drowned old echoes. Look at her boss the cousins, Ellen chuckled. Fanning herself with a paper plate. Her Austin tan fading under city pallor. Now a semi-permanent fixture. Splitting time between ranch and grandkids. She had taken to urban life with rye grit, subway maps memorized. Bagels deemed fancy donuts. Jordan. Flipping burgers. Shot Riley a wink across the grill smoke. Takes after you, directing chaos into art. Riley. Corralling a gaggle of kids in a conga line. Grinned back. Or you, turning picnics into revolutions. 5 years wet. Their banter polished as gold bands. Etched now with parenthood's patina. The party waned into golden hour. Guests drifting to jazz from a portable speaker. Lila. Sugared and sleepy. curled in Jordan's lap, thumb in mouth. Best day, she mumbled. All days with you, Jordan whispered, kissing crown. Riley joined, arm around them both, tableau vivant, family etched in light. Post cleanup, loft quiet save crickets. They tucked Lila, then retreated to deck chairs, wine glasses chilled. Fireflies blinked like Morse, gratitude. Remember the scandal? Riley ventured. Stars pricking sky. Feels lifetimes. Jordan sipped. Reflective. It was the spark. Burned hot. Forged us. Reforged. Indeed. Careers evolved. Riley's feature. Threads unraveled. Oscar buzz for its tapestry of queer kinships. Jordan's second book. Weaving Wild. Bestseller on resilient parenting. Lila's world bloomed bilingual, Spanish lullabies, English primers, sign language sprinkles from Auntie Ethan, whose off-Broadway run packed houses. But evolution invites evolution's kin. Change. Fall brought Lila's kindergarten jitters, backpack oversized. First day tears. Drop-off line snaked. Riley held Jordan's hand. Nails bitten. Shall thrive, Jordan assured. Voice steady for Lila's sake. Inside. Teacher Emma's. Harper warm. Wiry welcomed with crayons. Lila clung. Then released with a wave. Bye. Mamas. Door shut. Hearts wrenched. Pickup brought triumph. Finger-painted hearts. Tales of circle time friends. Evening's homework rituals, letters traced. Stories coaxed. One night, over mac and cheese, Lila asked, why no papa like Timmy's? Air stilled. Jordan glanced at Riley. Cue taken. Families come in stars, Riley said, drawing constellations on napkin. Ours has two bright ones, you. Us. Lila nodded. Sage. I like stars. Questions multiplied. Age peeling layers. Holidays layered too. Austin Ranch for Thanksgiving. Lila roping ponies tentative. Chicago Navidad. Piñata wax fierce. Well, Frylier now. Gifted embroidered sampler. Hilos Eternos. Eternal threads. Winter deepened with opportunity. Documentary commission, Jordan directing. Riley producing. On Queer Elders Archives. Research trips. San Francisco's Castro. Voices gravelly with Castro-era grit. Lila tagged weekends. Wide-eyed at abuelas who marched. Filming intimate. Octogenarian couples. Hands vain. Recounting raids and weddings. 1. Evelyn and Marisol. Kitchen table interview. We hid 40 years. Your generation. Shout it. Tears camera-fied. Lila. Off mic. Hugged. You're brave. Edit Bay marathons followed. Loft commandeered. Lila napping on beanbags. Premiere Tribeca. Standing ovation. Lila center aisle. Popcorn fists pumping. Post-screen. Panel Jordan fielding. Legacy isn't linear. It's looped. Riley added. Our daughters loop it forward. Summer circuits. Outfest LA. Frameline. Lila poolside with sitters. Mama's networking. A donor luncheon power suits. Veiled barbs. Adorable family, one cooed. But does she get the stares? Jordan's smile steel. She gets the strength. Homecomings healed. Ice cream cones melting. Park picnics. Lila's ballet recital, tutu twirls. Riley filming teary. My star, Jordan whispered. Fall fractures hinted. Schoolyard whispers. Lila's got two moms? Weird. Tears at pickup. Explanations home. Different special. Like you. Counseling check-in dear. Patel affirmed. You're modeling resilience. Tools sharpen. Books on families rainbowed. Winter brought Lila's fever again higher. Hospital hum sterile. Waits endless, tests ruled flu. But fear etched. Holding her hand 4D. Jordan prayed silent in Spanish. Riley hummed lullabies. Discharged on home. Soup steaming. Recovery nestled gratitude. Family closer. Priorities etched. Spring bloomed Lila's birthday 6. Unicorn theme. Chaos joyful. Guests included Ethan's beau. Now partner. And a new playmate, trans kid from class. Parents allies. Party peak. Piñata burst. Candy rain. Lila scoot. Declaring, best mamas. Evenings post-bedtime. Wine unwound. She's our mirror, Riley said. Feet in Jordan's lap. Reflecting fire. Kiss lazy. Love seasoned. Career crests. Oscars nod for threads. Red carpet triple Lila in velvet. Posing fierce. When improbable, speech shared. For Jordan. Who wove me for Lila. Our thread. Cheers global. After party whirl. Home jet lag. Lila asleep plane. They crashed and twined. Surreal, Jordan mumbled. Hours. Summer sabbatical. Montana return. Cabin upgraded family style. Hikes with backpack carriers. Lila naming peaks. Evenings Esmerith. Ghost stories gentle. One starlit night. Lila asked campfire. Will I have two loves like you? Riley exchanged glance. Loves come as they do. Your plural or singular well cheer. Jordan added. Hearts big. Fall reentry, school 2nd grade. Lila confident. Projects collaborative. Family podcast launched. Threads told. Episodes bedtime stories queered. Listeners poured. Parent queries. Kid voicemails. Lila guest starred. My mama's met 'cause of a picture. Holiday circuit. Austin. Chicago. Then Vermont cabin tradition rooted. New Year's resolution. Adventure cross-country train. Spring break. Trip unfolded. Prairies vast. Mountains humbling. Lila journaled sketches. Mama stole kisses in club cars. This is legacy, Jordan said. Rockies blurring. Living it. Riley lace fingers. Return sparked. Lila's questions evolving. Can I be an actress? Audition coaching ensued. Community theater stage fright conquered. Winter whisper. Pregnancy ponder surrogacy explored. Friends offering. Consults hopeful. Weight-laced excitement. Spring confirmation match found. Journey new. Lila thrilled. Baby sister. Nesting nested. Nursery painted sage. Bookshelves doubled. Ultrasounds wonders kicks felt. Names brainstormed. Delivery summer solstice. Healthy girl. Rosa after abuelas. Holding tiny. Lila peered. She's small star. Nights blurred feeds. Bottles. Burps. Jordan's columns resumed. Motherhood multiplied. Riley directed remote. Scripts laptop fed. Balance ballet. Date nights swapped. Love and stolen glances. One autumn dawn. Rosa cooing. Lila schooling. Jordan brewing coffee. Riley paused doorway. Our tapestry. Jordan smiled. Pulling her close. Woven eternal. Yet threads tug, world whirls. Rights waver. Rally invites recur. Lila asks, "Can I march?" Soon, promise. For now, home holds love's loom steady. The years folded like accordion pleats. Each crease a milestone etched in laughter and quiet mending. As Rosa bloomed from burp cloth bundle to toddling tempest, her dark curls a echo of Jordan's, her green eyes Riley's legacy. By Lola's 10th birthday, balloons helium high in the rowhouse garden. Cake layered chocolate and vanilla, the family had outgrown the loft, spilling into routines that wove work and wonder seamless. Ellen, now full-time Brooklynite in the garden apartment below, orchestrated pie baking sessions, her drawl a constant amid the girls' bilingual babble. Double digits. Bug, Riley said, hoisting Lila for a spin. Rosa clapping sticky hands from booster seat. Jordan captured on phone. Caption pending for the family feed. A curated chronicle of chosen chaos. Followers numbering thousands. Not for fame but fellowship. Party peaked with pin-the-tail chaos. Then waned to fairy lights and Esmeralda's pit. Lila, leggy in jeans, confided poolside with Riley. School's got this history project, queer heroes. Can I do you guys? Pride swelled. Tempered caution. Us? We're just starting chapters. You're epic, Lila insisted. Fierce. Jordan overheard. Joining with cocoa mugs. Epic's team effort. Pick Audre Lorde too, poet warrior. Bedtime's post-party dragged. Stories triple layered. Lila's chapter book. Rosa's board rhymes. Jordan's Spanish fables. Tuck tandem. Girls drowsy. Riley met Jordan's gaze over covers, wordless. We did this. Alone time rarefied. Post-bed wine on deck. City hush below. Decade in, Jordan toasted. Glasses clinking. Still my plot twist. Riley leaned. Kiss lingering. Twist me forever. Decades deep in grooves. Careers crested steady. Riley's studio deal. Features feminists framed. Jordan's non-profit. Threads Foundation. Funding queer archives worldwide. Lila volunteered weekends. Sorting photos with Abuela solemnity. Rosa tag. Crayon scribbling stories. Family expanded orbit. Ethan's wedding to his partner. Seaside ceremony where Lila flowered girl. Rosa ring bearer tumbling. Vows echoed theirs. In light. Shadow chosen. Ellen's health faltered fall. Hip replacement. Recovery ranch bound. Flights shuttled. Girls rotated visits. Lila reading bedside. Rosa drawing get-wells. Granny's tough, Jordan assured. Packing care kits. Winter brought Lila's first crush. Classmate Alex. Non-binary artist. Dinner confessions awkward. They draw like you. Mama J. Guidance gentle. Listen heart first. Spring heartbreak. Sleepover snub. Tears hot. Ice cream council. Hearts bruise. Heal stronger. Journal prompted. Pages filling resilience. Summer cycled. Montana cabins. Oregon shores. Austin barbecues. 1 July. Glacier hike. Lila let trail. Rosa backpacked giggling. Summit vista. Peaks endless. World's big, Lila breathed. Jordan squeezed Riley's hand. Ours bigger. Fall fractures. Political tides turned hostile, equality acts gutted. Rallies reignited. Jordan keynote again. DC march. Girls flanking. Lila chanted. Sign hoisted. Love wins. Rosa. For Waved pom-poms. Media swarmed. Family frontliners. Home backlash. School emails wary. Neutral curriculum. PDA meetings tense. Riley advocated. Jordan testified local. Victory Pyrrhic. Policy bent. Not broken. Winter warmth. Hanukkah Christmas hybrid. Menorah beside tree. Lax with tamales. Vuela visited. Frail but fierce. Gifting quilt-stitched granddaughters. Protection. Passing quiet Christmas Eve. Surrounded songs fading. Hands held. Grief group hugged. Lila journaling loss. Rosa drawing angels. Ellen anchored. She wove us eternal. Spring renewal. Lila's bat mitzvah planning interfaith blend. Jordan's roots honored. Prep rigorous Torah portions memorized. Speeches scripted. Ceremony synagogue vibrant. Lila radiant. Vows personal. For abuela's past. Mama's present threads holy. Reception danced. Aura circles. Cake smashed. Toast tiered. Ethan's witty. Ellen's heartfelt. My grandbaby's light echoes. Summer adventure. Europe rails Paris patisseries. Rome ruins. Lila sketched Colosseum. Rosa chased pigeons. Venice gondola. Jordan whispered proposal echo. Still yes. Riley laughed. Eternally. Fall home. School year 10 for Lila. Pre-K Rosa. Drop-offs ritual hugs triple. Waves lingering. Careers peaked. Riley's biopic greenlit. Jordan's abuela untold. Casting calls. Location scouts. Lila shadowed set. Assistant director badge proud. Premiere Toronto. Family red carpet. Girls' gowns twirling. Applause thundered. Cuna. Lila piped. Abuela's real hero. Post-fest gala. Dances waltzed. Awards pocketed. Hotel suite. Girls crashed. Mama's midnight talked. Legacy living. Years accelerated. Lila teen tumbling first kiss. Debate club firebrand. Rosa school star. Violin budding. Crushes navigated. Heartbreaks bandaged. Rallies routine. Voices amplified. Ellen's 80th. Ranch blowout. Kin converged. Wheelchair bound but spirit spry. She roped Lila. Dance like Thompson's wild. Jordan and Riley slow danced under stars. Girls giggling sidelines. Aging graceful? Riley teased. With you? Effortless. Winter whisper health check Jordan's routine scan. Shadow flagged. Biopsies blurred days wait agonizing. Lila researched. Rosa hugged Teddy tigered. Clear benign. Breaths collective. Spring relief. Family therapy tune-up. Bonds burnished. Summer's last. College tours Lila NYU Arts. Jordan's alma mater nod. Your path, she said. Fall empty nest preview. Lila dormbound. Packing bittersweet posters rolled. Bed stripped. Drop-off teary hugs vice. Promises texted. Empty echoed first weeks. Row house quiet. Rosa missing sister. Date nights reclaimed. Dinners candlelit. Travels spontaneous. Us again, Jordan murmured. Paris return. Winter holidays solo twined. Vermont cabin. Snowshoeing silent. Full circle, Riley said. Fire crackling. Spring bloomed Lila visits, tails tumbling. Love's budding. Rosa high school bound. Braces gleaming. Careers capstoned. Joint memoir 3. Eternal weave. Launch global tours with girls guesting. Anniversary 20th. Intimate. Island hop Bahamas breeze. Vows beach whispered. Still choose. Always. Years later. Lila directing debut. Rosa violin virtuoso. Grandkids glimpsed future threads. One autumn rally. Silvert. Jordan Mike's last. Love's legacy, pass it. Riley beside. Hand laced. Girls flank. Families grown. Saga closes not endures. Woven infinite. The weight of decades settled gentle as dusk. Riley tracing Jordan's laugh lines by lamplight. The row house humming with ghosts and graces. Lila. Naurti. Called from her Elisette. Mamas. Rap party stream. Rosa. Concert master in Chicago. Chimed. Save me pie. Ellen. 92. Garden tending. Girls home soon. Jordan smiled. Phone cradled. Always. Riley pulled her close. Kiss season sage. Our story best told living. And so they did. Threads eternal. Love's loom unending.